Support WrestleTalk!
Donate on Patreon.
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Alfagador Laurie Blake, and coming up on this episode of Newsweegie's Mansion, Hulk Hogan is returning to Raw tonight. Chris Jericho is not done with New Japan, but Kenny Omega is, question? And, might be the only way to describe this first story. Indie wrestler Priscilla Kelly and her, Pris have been the talk of the internet for the last couple of days. Kelly was a competitor in this year's Mae Young Classic, where she lost to Deonna Purrazzo in the first round, and that must have left a sour taste in her mouth. But not as sour as the taste she left in her opponent's mouth at a suburban fight event last month, because at the event, Kelly took what looked like a used tampon out of her tights and shoved it into her opponent's mouth. And as you can imagine, not exactly everyone thought that this was a brilliant bit of theatre, because the internet essentially went balmy. There were plenty of hot takes, period jokes, and much discussion of whether penis is lull, but vagina is gross. Impact's Gail Kim said, "I'm seeing this post of a women's match that got disgusting, and I'm not going to repost it because it's seriously a disgrace. Why? Whoever thought that was a good spot that was gonna get a pop and was worth it? No! How about telling a story in the ring with your wrestling instead?" Jim Ross simply called it embarrassing. And then on the other hand, Joey Ryan, the leader of the Dick Druids, was unsurprisingly more liberal in his view, saying, "I would never censor anyone's artistic creativity, to each their own. The telltale sign will be if it connects with an audience. If it finds an audience, then can it really be considered wrong? If it doesn't, then it'll die. You can't stop change. Trying will only make you bitter." And I guess that's the thing with this. It's a gross out spot that has successfully grossed out a really good portion of the internet. So that's success, I guess. And like Priscilla Kelly herself said, it does raise the question if a penis is funny and awesome, a vagina is disgusting and trashy. Is that hashtag equality? Jim Cornette had no time for such arguments, saying, "People want my take, so I'll give it direct to you. I expect nothing else from outlaw mud show wrestlers, male or female, because none of you can work. But to defend your bullshit by starting, well, it's all fake, that's why you, Dick Guy, and others are killing wrestling. You." Harsh words from Jim there, who remembers the good old days when the stink face was a thing, Mr. Socko was a legit finisher, and Triple H shagged a corpse. And also those Dick Druids got over real hard. Now let me tell you something about Mean Gene. As you no doubt are aware, legendary interviewer Gene Okerlund passed away last week at the age of 76. And WWE announced that they will pay tribute to Gene on tonight's Raw, and to do so properly, they are bringing back perhaps Gene's greatest foil, Hulk Hogan. And to be honest, you can think what you want about the man himself, but this is the perfect deployment of the Hulkster, who WWE have clearly been struggling to bring back into the fold after the various controversies surrounding him. It's a chance for Hulk to actually use some of his admittedly dwindling star power to send off a man who helped him to grow it in the first place. Last night, Impact hosted its Homecoming pay-per-view. And if you want to know who the kings and the queens of Homecoming were, you can check out Luke's review for all of the results, the title changes, and the return of an Impact favourite wrestler. Ooh, who could it be? Also announced during the pay-per-view was the fact that as well as Impact moving home to the Pursuit channel later this year, the weekly episodes will also go out on their Twitch channel beginning January 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Internet dwellers rejoice. Before the show, though, the company held a press conference where Wrestling Inc. quizzed them about working with other promotions like Ring of Honor, NJPW, and even All Elite Wrestling. Tibbity Top Dog Ed Nordholm responded saying, "I think we'd be at the forefront of encouraging collaborations among the bigger and smaller wrestling promotions. As an organisation, we're sure that we would all be stronger if we were collaborating rather than fighting each other. It's a world in which we would welcome an opportunity to work with Ring of Honor. It's a world in which we would welcome an opportunity working with New Japan. It's a world in which we would welcome an opportunity working with AEW. If they ever actually get up and running." Ooh, the shade of it all. The challenge always is what is the mutual benefit of doing it. We've established that we have a proven, very strong tradition with AAA, doing what's mutually beneficial for both of us, and we're both stronger because of it. It allows us to populate our rosters and be sure they have work, showing very interesting things that fans haven't seen until we started doing it. Despite all the bluster though, sometimes those collaborations, they just ain't gonna fly. Because according to Wrestling News World, when AEW offered contracts to Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix these past 2 weeks, in response, Impact Wrestling offered both big 6-figure deals, probably figuring that they just share them after all the contracts were signed. We're all mates here. And then in response to Impact's offer, which was in response to AEW's offer, AEW made a counter offer, reportedly tripling their initial offer because they want both Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix to appear at the rally in Jacksonville tomorrow night. And speaking of that rally, it happens to be the same night as SmackDown and is happening in the very same city. Sounds suspicious if you ask me. Well, apparently, it isn't, as God of Whispers Dave Meltzer himself has said on the Wrestling Observer Radio that it's just a coincidence. It was just the earliest it could be held post Wrestle Kingdom. There is no beef here. Daniel Bryan will be pleased. Tattletale Meltzer also said that the Double or Nothing show is likely happening in April, most likely in Las Vegas, and is expected to outdraw All In, which is just about the safest bet you're ever going to get in Las Vegas. Dave's fellow curtain twitcher Brian Alvarez also mentioned that WWE officials will be attending the AEW rally to monitor the situation, probably blocking the doors to stop a stampede of superstars looking for a contract. Dash, Dawson, back on the bus. Get back on the bus. But really, the Jacksonville rally could be the start of something beautiful. But Wrestle Kingdom 13, though, was the end of something beautiful. As Cody Rhodes' tenure in New Japan came to an end, he posted a picture with 2 of his bestest buddies from Japan. 2 guys I've learned a lot from, 2 of my favourite people. The IWGP Heavyweight Champion, the IWGP United States Champion, the IWGP Intercontinental Champion. Hashtag NJWK13. How did that turn out for you, lads? Even though Cody's definitely done with NJPW, it doesn't seem like Chris Jericho is yet. And there are spoilers coming up in 3, 2, 1. That's despite losing the IWGP Intercontinental Championship to Naito at Wrestle Kingdom. And despite Jericho also fueling speculation of a move to AEW after thanking Tony Khan for hooking him up with NFL tickets. Because after Wrestle Kingdom ended, Jericho told the press, and this has been translated from Japanese so you can forgive Google for its terrible grammar, it is a mistake if you think that a time with me and New Japan Pro Wrestling will be over. I kept the Intercontinental belt for the longest in 2018. So let me tell you, I want to challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight belt. Chris Jericho will challenge the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and you will understand. You will understand. Jericho was out to quash a few rumours post Wrestle Kingdom, to be honest. He's leaving New Japan, he's going to AEW, wrestling is fake. Because just look at the welts in this photo that was taken after the no DQ match with Naito. The welts of Jericho. So it sounds like Jericho is probably staying, but a couple of people have decided that, like King Curtis, they are leaving. You will never see this face again. One of them is Kushida, who says he's going to try his hand wrestling outside of Japan. I am contracted with this company until the end of January, so I won't be talking much about beyond then. But it has been my dream for a long time to travel the world with professional wrestling, and that's what I will be doing. I increasingly took on the role lately of working with younger talent, and while not teaching, learning together. Along with that, going back and forth between Ring of Honor and New Japan, I realised I'm now 36 and have much less in front of me career-wise than behind. Being with Shibata in the dojo, I learned how difficult it was to teach the next generation. A lot of personal research has to go into that process. For me, in order to best teach the next generation, what do I need to do? Someone else leaving is, drumroll please, you guessed it, it's Kenny Omega. In his match at Wrestle Kingdom, Kenny spoiler alert, lost the IWGP Heavyweight title to Hiroshi Tanahashi. In a post-match interview with Tokyo Sports, Kenny said, "I take full responsibility for the loss. There is no real place for me to fit, so it's best for me not to be in New Japan. I can't be there working under Tanahashi. I don't think he's surpassed me. Don't think he's better. If we can, I want to face him again, but I need time away and not just from New Japan." Could this time away also be suggesting that he needs time away from the rest of the elite, like in WWE? Or he just needs a break from wrestling, which is really well deserved, but super sad times. Because the thing is, WWE is very much on the table, according to Snitch of the Year 2018 Dave Meltzer, who said on Wrestling Observer Radio that a fantastic offer was made to Omega by WWE, which the pretty trustworthy WrestleVotes on Twitter seem to have confirmed, saying, texted a source regarding Omega and WWE's offer to him, got back, if they don't land him, it's not their fault for lack of effort. They've done what they can. Translation, WWE wants Omega. I'm assuming the offer is strong, especially financially. Decision is all his at this point. So chances are they've offered top dollar for the cleaner, but he's no doubt cleaning up when it comes to offers. So really, we're going to have to wait and see where the one-winged angel decides to hang his halo. Just who is signed to AEW? Well, no doubt we'll find out tomorrow at the rally, but until then, we made a list of 50, yes, 50 talented wrestlers who could be signing up with a new promotion. To read that in eye-pleasing word format, click the link on screen now and give us a subscribe to stay up to date on all of the latest wrestling news. I've been El Fakador, and that was Lucha.